Let me tell you about the biggest lie in entrepreneurship, the idea that success is linear. We see highlight reels on social media, TechCrunch articles about overnight successes, but here's what nobody shows you. Actual entrepreneurial success looks like a flat line that suddenly shoots up like a hockey stick, and that flat line can last years. This is the valley of disappointment, and it's where most entrepreneurs quit. In the first 6 months, you're running on pure adrenaline. Every small win feels massive. You got your first customer, incredible. But then reality sets in. Month 7, 8, 9. You're working just as hard, maybe harder, but results aren't multiplying. You thought you'd have 100 customers, but you have 12. This is the grind phase where entrepreneurship stops being sexy and starts being survival. You're doing everything right, showing up, refining your product, reaching out to customers, but the marketplace hasn't caught up to your effort yet. And here's the cruel part. This is when the most important work is happening. You're building systems, understanding your customer, creating the foundation for massive growth. But none of that feels good because there's no external validation. Now let's talk about the most dangerous period, months 18 through 36. By this point, you've exhausted your savings, probably taken on debt, and people are asking uncomfortable questions. Your parents are worried, your partner is stressed, and the worst part, you're starting to agree with them. The voice that used to say, "You've got this," now whispers, "Maybe they're right, maybe you should quit." This is the breaking point, and it's insidious because quitting starts to feel responsible and logical. But here's what's really happening. Your brain is in threat mode. When stressed and financially pressured, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for long-term thinking, literally goes offline. You shift into survival mode, which prioritizes short-term relief over long-term success. Your brain doesn't care about your dreams, it cares about reducing immediate discomfort. So when someone offers you a steady paycheck, your brain floods you with relief chemicals. But what your brain doesn't account for is compound growth. The effort you put in during month 6 doesn't pay off in month 7, it pays off in month 28. Every article you wrote, every customer conversation, every iteration, all of that is accumulating beneath the surface. Most entrepreneurs quit right before that energy converts into momentum. There are 5 warning signs you're approaching your breaking point. Warning sign 1, comparison paralysis. You're obsessively checking competitors, reading about other entrepreneurs' success, feeling like everyone's winning while you're failing. This shifts your focus from internal progress to external validation, a dangerous trap. Warning sign 2, the pivot trap. Every few months you're chasing a different opportunity, convinced this new thing will be easier or faster, but you're resetting your progress to 0 repeatedly, never staying long enough to experience compound effects. Warning sign 3, revenue obsession. You're checking your bank account multiple times daily, and every decision is filtered through, will this make money right now? This desperation leads to poor strategic decisions, chasing quick wins instead of building long-term value. Warning sign 4, isolation fatigue. You've withdrawn from your entrepreneurial community, avoiding conversations about your business. This creates an echo chamber where your worst fears multiply without external perspective to challenge them. Warning sign 5, the logical exit. You're building elaborate, rational arguments for why quitting is the smart, mature decision. You tell yourself you gave it a good shot and it's time to be realistic. But often this logic is just your exhausted brain seeking relief, not actual strategic thinking. How do you know if you're being persistent or just stubborn? Both look the same from inside. Here's your framework. There are 3 legitimate reasons to quit. First, clear evidence there's no viable market, not just slow sales. You've talked to hundreds of potential customers, tested different models, and the consistent feedback is people don't want or need what you're offering. Second, fundamental misalignment between the business and your values or lifestyle goals. Maybe you wanted freedom, but built something requiring 60-hour office weeks. Third, serious mental or physical health consequences that are unsustainable. Your health is non-negotiable. Now, when you should absolutely not quit, when you're experiencing slow growth, feeling discouraged, comparing yourself to others, tired, or haven't seen immediate results, these aren't signs of failure. These are signs of being in the middle of the journey. The entrepreneurs who succeed aren't smarter, they just have higher tolerance for uncertainty and delayed gratification. Amazon didn't profit for 7 years. Airbnb founders sold cereal boxes to stay afloat. These aren't exceptions, they're the rule. How long have you actually been working on your business with full focus and consistent execution? Not since you had the idea, but genuine, consistent work? For most entrepreneurs, it's less time than they think. Maybe 3 intense months, then 2 months figuring things out, then another strong quarter. The actual focus time might only be 8 months, though a year and a half has passed. This matters because of the 1,000-day rule. It takes approximately 1,000 days of consistent, focused effort to build a sustainable business, roughly 3 years. Not 3 years dabbling, but 3 years of showing up, learning, and pushing forward. When you look at successful entrepreneurs' timelines, this pattern appears again and again. The overnight success stories? Dig deeper and you find years of groundwork nobody saw. The challenge is our instant gratification culture says if something isn't working in 6 months, it never will. That's simply not true. The learning curve in entrepreneurship is steep. You're getting a PhD through trial and error. That takes time. If you're at month 18 feeling discouraged, you're not behind. You're right on schedule in the middle of the 1,000 days. You've decided to push through. Now, how do you survive without burning out? You need a mental operating system, habits and frameworks that keep you moving forward regardless of how you feel. First, the 90-day commitment rule. For the next 90 days, quitting is off the table. You don't get to question if this is working or explore new ideas. For 90 days, you're all in. This removes the mental drain of constantly wondering if you should quit. At 90 days, you can reassess. Second, daily non-negotiables. 3 to 5 activities that move your business forward no matter what. For me, reach out to 10 potential customers, create 1 piece of content, review key metrics every single day, no exceptions. These should take no more than 2 hours and be your highest leverage activities. Even on worst days, you can complete these. Third, weekly review sessions. Every week, spend 30 minutes reviewing what worked, what didn't, what you learned. This keeps you in a growth mindset. Instead of seeing a slow week as failure, you see it as data. What experiments did you run? What feedback did you get? What will you do differently? Here's the single most important question. 10 years from now, will you regret not knowing what would have happened if you had kept going? Not will you regret failing, will you regret not knowing? Entrepreneurs who quit too early don't regret the failure itself or the money lost. What haunts them is the uncertainty. They wonder constantly if they'd held on 3 more months, 6 more months. Would that have been when everything clicked? That unknowing is a special kind of torture. Entrepreneurs who push through to a clear conclusion, even if it's ultimate failure, have peace. They know they gave it everything, explored every option, left nothing on the table. That knowledge allows them to move forward without regret. So ask yourself, if you quit today, will you spend the next decade wondering? If yes, then you have your answer. You're not done yet. You might be tired, scared, running on fumes, but you're not done. The breakthrough might be 1 conversation away, 1 iteration away. The only way to find out is to keep going. Remember that moment I mentioned at the beginning, when I was 1 week from shutting everything down? I sent a survey to my small customer list, expecting negative feedback to confirm I should quit. Instead, I got 47 overwhelmingly positive responses. Person after person told me how much value I'd provided, how I'd helped solve real problems. I realized I wasn't failing. I was just impatient, measuring success against an arbitrary timeline instead of looking at actual progress. That was 3 years ago. Today, that business generates multiple 6 figures, supports my family, and gives me freedom to work anywhere. If I'd quit that week, I would have missed all of it. There was nothing special about me. The only difference was getting 1 piece of data at the right time that helped me see clearly. My hope is this video has been that data for you. Here's my challenge. Commit to 90 more days. Implement these frameworks. Build your mental operating system. Check yourself against those warning signs. When the time comes to decide about your business, do it from clarity and data, not exhaustion and fear. Drop a comment below and tell me where you are in your journey. Are you in the valley of disappointment? Approaching the breaking point? Already broken through? This community supports each other and I read every comment. Subscribe because I share real, honest, entrepreneurial truths every week. I've also created a free decision-making framework worksheet, link in the description. Your breakthrough might be closer than you think. The question is, will you be there when it arrives? See you in the next video.